hundreds of pages of documents have dropped regarding the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively case. We are going to go through some bombshells with you. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. We've been live. I went to have some rants about my hearing today. We went through a lot of these discovery documents and read a lot of the overall recap. So if there was ever a time to catch the full replay, this was the one. You can become a member by going over to PopcornedPlanet.com. Make sure you click sign up. And then, yeah, you can go check out all the recent uploads, documentaries, all that stuff. Plus the It Ends With Us documentary that's coming on the website, and so much more. Supporting there helps us tremendously. And given all that we're dealing with this subpoena gate, thank you to everybody who continues to donate and help. Those are the two ways you can support us. So thank you to everybody who has helped. Now, if you, hopefully you all watched my earlier video going through the videos. These are shocking. What she's just, it's like unreal how the hypocrisy of Blake Lively. But I want to go through, these are all foreign to me because there's so much to catch up, guys. So huge shout out to Kim, and thanks to Michelle last night as well. They've been going through collecting, along with everybody on Reddit and elsewhere who've been helping to try to summarize these pages and pages and pages of documents. We're going to go through some of these that Kim has prepared for us. So here are some bombshells that I want to go through. Here we go. And the fact, teasing, we're going to get to it. Ryan Reynolds berated Justin for like 6 hours. 6 hours? What? Oh, we're going to get there. All right, let's start. Here's where we're starting. So Lively initiated this litigation. And after minor issues were resolved, she did not pursue a formal HR process and then claimed his PR efforts as retaliation. Now that's where we're sort of summing up here. In December of 2024, 18 months after the minor issues, she raised about on-set behavior were fully and successfully resolved, Lively launched this dispute with an administrative complaint and the fanfare of a New York Times headline. We know this. Awful, 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 awful. The behavior she previously regarded as not requiring any formal HR process, I think it's here. Yeah, here it is, not formal any process, was now being presented by two large, sophisticated global law firms as an SH claim of the gravest kind. And Baldoni's natural defense effort after being sidelined from his own premiere to manage his own and his film's reputation by employing experienced PR professionals was now recast as retaliation against Lively for raising purported SH concerns. Lively's numerous claims against numerous defendants cannot withstand scrutiny. Judgment should be entered for defendant on all claims. But just to reiterate again, she initiated this after minor issues were resolved, and she did not pursue a formal HR process, and then claimed when he, did his own press to help try to offset the negative press Blake started doing, it was called retaliation, even though it was Blake's own actions. Truly bombshell, unbelievable. I can't even believe this stuff. Number two, Blake can't prove her claims, and a jury would not agree that what happened was SH. This court, as well as many others, have pointedly observed that in evaluating what constitutes actionable harassment or a hostile work environment, context matters. Two comments made on the set of filming a movie about adult themes may have had different material effect from similar comments made in a routine office setting, like a Chipotle. Lively knowingly took on a lead role in a provocative, sexually charged film based on a book famous for its intense, intimate scenes. When viewed in context, no reasonable jury could find that the handful of comments and miscommunications that Lively has mustered amounts to SH. I mean, amen. Amen. It is not enough for Lively to say that she personally found something Baldoni or Heath did objectionable. Both an objective and subjective standard must be met to sustain a claim. Well said, man. These are stone cold facts. I don't know how she's going to fight any of this, to be honest. I want to go to the next bombshell. You ready for this one? Here we go. Going to number 3. The filings. Here we go. The filings. We're on 22 of 83. Here we go. The filings give more context to Blake's most dramatic claims. Point 88. Here it is. Sorry, I was a 1 page off. On or about May 4th, Baldoni worked with Elizabeth Talbot, the film's intimacy coordinator, to add specifics to the intimate scenes. I guess we have that here. Here is the email from Elizabeth Talbot. I want Blake to say this, yada, yada. He suggests Talbot discuss the scenes with Lively to determine how to portray more intimacy in a manner consistent with Lively's personal boundaries and preferences. This is what he wants her to help do it. So there you go. That's how that progressed. Going back to point, sorry, there's so much here, guys. Point 92. Such a discussion took place in the context of planning and choreographing an X scene. Lively first volunteered her own personal experience before Baldoni shared his. In addition, on page 24 and 24 of 83, right here, point 101, as you can see here, a scene in which Lively's character gives birth was filmed on around May 22nd. While shooting the scene, Lively was wearing a hospital gown, a prosthetic belly, and fabric over her genitals. Video clip of excerpt Wayfair. I guess we don't have that yet. We don't have that clip yet. But she was covered. She claims she wasn't, and they're like, no, dude, we have the video, and she was fully covered. Alexander Shapiro has filed a letter today saying that not all the exhibits, here it is, not all the exhibits could be uploaded, and asked for direction on what to do next. This appears to be one of them, which means we may have a birthing scene video coming soon. So FYI, it wasn't like left out for any other reason. It's just that apparently they've been having trouble loading some of this stuff to there. But so another bombshell, more video evidence is coming. Now, moving on to this next page, 21 of 83, there is no evidence of fat shaming. Lively also alleged that Baldoni shamed Lively for her body and weight by offering to connect her with a specialist in probiotics. I can't say that word. You know what I'm trying to say. After Lively caught strep throat because Lively alleges the expert was instead a weight loss specialist. Lively has not offered any admissible evidence supporting that claim. She did not discuss it during her deposition, and she has not produced any documentary evidence indicating that the expert was a weight loss specialist. Documentary evidence shows that Baldoni discussed Lively's illness with the specialist and not her weight. But boom, here it is. This is the text. We've seen these before as well, but here are the texts discussing the illness. And we've gone through these. These are just a higher res sort of thing. But this is him, which we've read before, confirming, no, you're lying. She's not a weight loss specialist. I did this because you were sick. How is she going to get past all these? Let's move on to the next page. 21 of 24. Ryan Reynolds berated Justin for 5 to 6 hours. Jamie Heath revealed in a deposition for the meeting between Justin and Ryan was 5 to 6 hours long, and most of it was Ryan belittling Justin. So you talked about the video. Can you let him finish? The witness. So we talked about the video. He didn't talk about the details of it. We just brought it up again. The video was shown. Again, I apologized to her, recognizing she was surprised by it. This wasn't written. So no more mention of Baldoni or Heath's previous addiction. I don't have addiction. I don't have an addiction. So certainly she wouldn't have read that. And I don't know what that refers to. So no, that was not discussed. They're talking about X Lives. Is this when? Oh, here it is. And you've given me full scope of your memory about what was discussed in that 5 to 6 hours. Objection. No, a lot of it was Ryan belittling Justin. For 5 or 6 hours, a lot of it was. And when you say belittling, what do you mean? When she first started reading a couple of her things, and Justin was hearing this, taking this in, and trying to make sense of it, he was frozen by hearing this stuff. And instead of, well, let me not say instead of, and his reaction was that he was being a coward. That what you do when a woman says this to you and points out these things, you just stand up and you just apologize. And Justin was just like, but I didn't do this. And then he raised his voice and used some language and insinuated that he was not a good guy. That Mr. Baldoni was not a good guy? I guess we move on. Sadly, this isn't the same. Did you discuss Mr. Baldoni hiding street? Anyway, so this part is the most important one. Yikes. That's insane. 5 to 6 hours of Ryan Reynolds screaming at Justin. Unbelievable. And now there is a text chain, including Rainn Wilson, Dwight of The Office. I love Rainn Wilson. Everyone's like, are you going to meet Justin someday? I'd love to meet Justin. Actually, my wife would love to meet Justin. I would love to meet Rainn Wilson. I'm so jealous Justin's friends with Rainn. They both seem like the nicest of guys, but Rainn Wilson is such an awesome dude. I'm such a fan of his. Anyway, here's a text message between him and Rainn where Justin tells his friends about the meeting and gives his version of events. Any updates, brothers? Well, sorry for not giving an update. Last night was one of the hardest nights of my life. It's hard to describe what happened exactly. The only way to describe it was an ambush. I had no words. I couldn't formulate sentences. My brain was trying to defend itself when they were needing me to apologize for all the ways I have effed up and made her feel unsafe. Ryan was talking to me like a 5-year-old and scolding me. They essentially said that Jamie and I are not who we claim to be, and that for us to have a podcast is unsafe because it makes people feel like we are safe. I was read from a phone of all the things that I did, while many of them were based in actual situations. The events were wrong and the things were taken completely out of context. The word creepy and abuse were used in reference to me and my behavior. I was then given the words of what to say and had to apologize, which I was unable to do because my brain was trying to comprehend what was happening. I was in shock and basically went into feeling like I was a 7-year-old. Again, when I got home last night, I was emotionally paralyzed. It was as bad as it sounds. Jamie did a beautiful job apologizing. I did not have the words. I was embarrassed for myself as it happened in front of the team, but I was embarrassed that I was unable to even formulate the correct words to apologize and honestly just feel like a bad person. It's hard to feel so much of what they believe about me is false because they are so convinced that it's real. Looking for the nuggets of learning, which there are many, and somehow have showed up today, thanks to Jamie and my wife who are currently shooting. We are currently shooting I Love You All. My brain was struggling because what I wanted to say and do was run and blow this whole movie up because I feel this was so unjust. And yet the only path forward was to acknowledge her and Ryan feeling and apologizing and take the wrath of an angry husband. Yet, yeah, I couldn't even do that correctly. I prayed and prayed and prayed for the words and it didn't come. So I felt abandoned by God in that moment, even though I know that's not what happened. We were told this was the worst experience of her life and others have witnessed this behavior and the behavior on set was creepy. I was emotionally paralyzed, which is something I haven't experienced in years. Rainn, imagine that meeting all those years ago at Soul Pancake with Gorills, but times that about 100. I spoke to my therapist for an hour and she tried to get me out of the haze as I literally could not get myself off the couch. I don't know how I will make it through, but I know that I will. And I just knowing you're all there for me means the world to me because even with Jamie here and my wife and my family, I've never felt so alone. Oh, this is brutal. Putting a smile on, doing my best to lead the crew. I will unpack and process this when we wrap, of course. I apologize for the vulnerability dump. The fact that he's apologizing to them for doing this shows so much growth on Justin's part. This is one of the few safe spaces I have right now. I love you all, and I thank you for your prayers. Sorry for my dictation grammar. I'm in between shots. Justin, you were ambushed. You reacted the only way you could. Hold on to your beliefs and keep moving forward. God is glorious. Our prayers are with you. And spirit and love of your hearts. Rainn, oh my God, I can't believe it. You were set up and ambushed and personally attacked. I'm stunned. I completely relate to you being stunned like a deer in headlights. Probably better that you didn't immediately just start apologizing. So grateful that Jamie is your partner and could step in diplomatically as needed. Onwards, brother. Make a great and important and entertaining piece of storytelling. That's all you can do now. Sorry for what you went through. I love you all and we'll keep praying for you. Look at that, man. We all need friends like this. My God. Rainn Wilson just got even more props in my book. Unbelievable. That's like getting me emotional having to read this, that he had to be put through this. For what? What are we doing here? Please watch the full stream. We go through her allegations. That's nothing. Nothing. It's unbelievable. It's totally stupid. I can't get over this. I can't get over this. Are you as surprised at these bombshells? Dwight from The Office is getting in on the text. I want to hear your thoughts, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell as well. Make sure you click all alerts, smash the like button, and leave your comments. There is still so much more to unpack from this. Literally, just finding this now. This is unbelievable. This is clearly the reason why the video is called that. Sorry it took so long to get there. But thank you. Shout out to Kim, Michelle, everybody behind the scenes have been helping. We got a lot more comments, so stay tuned. And if you're watching live, don't go anywhere.